Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me on Soul School tonight. Jeff will be here if he is able. It depends on his travel schedule. I haven't heard from him in a few hours, so I don't know if he'll join us or not. In the interim, Peanut Butter, right over here, there, Peanut Butter, is resting comfortably on the sofa. I don't usually encourage the students to sleep in class, but I always make an exception for her, always. So class is in session, and Jeff's been so busy this week that I took it upon myself to choose the topic and decide where we were going to go with this. And so, in case you have not had a chance to look at the title or the description of this class, i.e., the syllabus, the title is Living in the Moment, Practicing Our Own Presence. And it as follows. Getting to know your own soul is an integral element of spiritual growth. Okay, hold on just a second. Getting a message. Forgot to turn my sound off, and I'm still getting a message. Getting to know your own soul is an integral element of spiritual growth. We take for granted that we are shaped by external forces and elements and exposure to the world at large, but each of us has a world contained within. It's a difficult and very challenging journey to the core of who we are, and it leaves many intrepid hikers with more questions than answers. So let's explore the rugged terrain of our own path to peace together. Never hike alone. So that's that. Now I can put this to the side and I can lose the spectacles. There we are. And I've been doing, hello, darling. Oh, I spoke with you earlier this morning too. I hope you stay, Witch Moon. I hope you stay for a world awakening in the next hour. Oh, thank you, Joseph. Bless your heart. Because we're doing a Q&A. And anybody that has any questions, just reach out to my admin, my a sister, my BFF, my whole 9 yards, Lynn Ann Bowling, and she will make sure that we will get to as many questions as we can. And hi, Brady. And we, if we have more than we can handle in an hour, hi, Nikki. We're going to do, hi, sweetheart. Oh, so sweet. We're going to do a Zoom session probably in the next week or so that I can see everybody's faces and we can have a nice talk together because we are in this together. And River is here. Linny is the best. Yes, I completely agree. And I know River's going to be on World Awakening tonight because Lenny's already put his question aside. Like, okay, we'll probably go there first. But I love you all, and I'm so grateful that you are here because it speaks to who you are as individuals and that you're willing to do the work that it takes to get through what is an intrepid life. It is a difficult journey. I've said many, many times, when you're swimming against the current, have enough good sense as you're gasping for your last breath and your arms and your lungs are on fire. Have enough common sense to flip over and float. It's really the only way home. It is. And, I have to do it. I mean, literally on like a daily basis, I will have a panic attack suddenly. Where I'm just riddled with anxiety, whether it's medical bills coming in at like, are you kidding me? Are you even kidding me? I mean, the stress of that, of worrying every time I hear the mail truck pull in front of the yard. Oh my God. I mean, the stress will take me faster than the cancer will, and I have to calm myself down and know that it'll all be okay and just tell myself, it will all be okay. I just have to get through this chapter. It's just a chapter. It's not my whole life. It's just a chapter. And so I clutch my imaginary pearls and just keep going because it's really all that we can do. Um, this is a very difficult time for an awful lot of people. There's a great deal of anxiety and stress and just not knowing what's going to happen next, afraid to ask, don't ask. That's rule number one. Okay, make a note, class. Don't ever ask what's next, because if you do, the universe will present you with something that you don't want to deal with. I'm telling you right now, it will. So just tonight, I wanted to talk about practicing the presence of ourselves in the moment. You know, transcendental meditation is all about getting into your core so that you can spiritually transcend and understand that you are part of the universe, that you're bigger than yourself, that you're important in a way. Sam, go lay down, honey. Just go lay down. Go take a nap. And it is a process, and it's a difficult process. I talk a lot about when you leave a void in your mind, when you create a vacancy where you're just doing something mundane, what I like to refer to as the Sisyphean tasks of life, doing the dishes, rinsing them, throwing them in the dishwasher, stirring some sauce for spaghetti and meatballs, whatever you're doing that doesn't really require you to be in conscious thought. That's when I find that your mind reveals itself to you most, when it tells you what's going on inside. And it does that because you've created a vacancy. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I've got an eyelash in my eye. I don't know any teacher I ever had that paused a class to get an eyelash out. So I guess I'm the first. I can just be doing something like laundry, and all of a sudden things will crop up that I thought I resolved a long time ago, decades and decades ago. And suddenly it will rear its ugly head and come back up to remind me that it's still there, that I still remember it. And so, I basically tell it, just get the fuck out, just get out. And it will. But then you've created a void. Then you've created a space that is empty of thought. And if you do not immediately fill that space with a thought, thoughts are things. Fill it with a thought that brings you pleasure, that brings you grace, that brings you hope, that brings you to your happy place. And I don't care if it's a really wonderful memory or if you use it to project forward to something that you're going to be participating in, or if you just fill it with a peacefulness that you force upon yourself to just breathe and focus on what you are doing. If that means folding a pair of shorts perfectly, take pleasure and joy in that. If there's a little peanut butter cup at your feet that wants a Treat, I cannot say the word out loud. Oh, good, she didn't hear it. She can spell too. Oh God, I've taught her way too much. Then focus on that. Focus on what is in the moment that brings you pleasure. And if there is nothing around you in that moment that brings you pleasure, create it. We are creative beings. That is what we are. That is what we do. we create. And so claim that moment as your own and understand that it is your responsibility. Happiness is an inside job. It is. I can stand at the kitchen window, and I don't know if any of you have been on my Facebook page today or seen, but we've got a whole new clutch of baby chickens. I mean, little bitties. They are little itty bitties. And so I put up a bunch of pictures. Go look tomorrow. I'll put up a video. And I can look out the window and I can see the mama teaching the babies how to chicken scratch, how to get the seeds that I threw out for them, which brings me enormous pleasure. And I don't care how much it costs to feed hundreds of birds and dozens of squirrels and anything or anyone else that comes to dine on this property. Because when they show up, I feed them. And that brings me pleasure. It brings me joy. And it brings me to Wally World, Walmart up the street, like frequently, once a week for a 25-pound bag, worth every cent it is. We each have different lives and we have different obligations and responsibilities and pressures and tension. But if we do not tend to ourselves, if we do not tend to what is divine in us and speak to it and connect with it, we're missing an opportunity every single day to improve our lot in life, to improve the way that we think, to improve the part of us that is universal. It is part of our spiritual ascension, our evolution. Go out at night and just look up at the stars. See who's passing through the neighborhood. Eventually, you're going to see something that you know is a vessel that was not made on this planet. I promise you that. And if you have any question about how to do that, I'm happy to tell you. It takes all of 5 minutes to teach people how to do that, how to connect with our galactic family. But I have found too that in this time of retrospection and reflection, as I pause every day to take an inventory of where I am emotionally, which is a really, really huge part in healing. It's enormous. It is healing in a way that nothing else can be. And so I wouldn't say that I meditate any more than I would claim that I deliberately breathe. I breathe automatically. I meditate automatically. I don't go to church. I live in church, my temple, which is why I feel absolutely entitled to expel the intruder in my soul school, in my classroom, in my core being. Get the fuck out of my big fat fluffy temple now, you son of a bitch. Go back and live with your father, the devil. I say it at least a few times a day, as soon as it crosses my mind. And I'm scaring it away. I have declared war with words on something that does not belong in my body, but is here to teach me something. Well, I feel like I've learned my lesson. First, number one, never self-diagnose. There are people to do that for you. Because what I thought was a really bad cyst that ruptured was, in fact, something much worse. And I was given a death sentence when the first day that I met with my oncologist. When you hear incurable, when you hear inoperable, when you hear basically go home and get your affairs in order. And I told her right then, those words have no relevance to me. They have no meaning to me. I have no fear of this. I am defiant in the face of it. I don't know why I'm dealing with it, but there must be a reason. I'll figure out the reason. I'll learn the lesson, and then I will kill it dead. And the last time that I was with her, about 3 weeks ago, she said, well, I think that it's time to reassess things and we should talk about a lumpectomy. And my response to that was, the next time we do a PET scan, I don't think we'll need to discuss surgery at all, because I don't think there's going to be anything left to surgically remove, because I'm killing it. Petulant as I could possibly be. I am a spiritual warrior, and I have you. I have all of you who speak to the universe on my behalf. Pray to the power of the universe. Call it God, call it divine mind, call it source energy, call it whatever you want to call it. It's there, it's real. I prefer to speak directly with the Blessed Virgin Mary. But I'll have to tell you, something very strange has happened to me. And I will share this with you tonight. Hold on just one second. I had a point that I wanted to make first. The external forces, we think that, our life depends on the people around us and the traffic around us and the price of groceries and, keeping a roof over our heads and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of like the commercial where you have to think about what you have to make for dinner for the rest of your life. It's a thing. Being adulting sucks. Peopling sucks. There were days that I'm just like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to lay here with my little dog. And those are some of the most productive days. But everything's going on in here. Everything's going on behind my eyes. Everything's going on in my heart. Everything's going on in my core. Everything is, Sam, oh, excuse me. Sam, Mommy's doing her show right now. And you're aware of this. So you come over here. You get down over here. Right here, right now. Thank you. Sorry. Oh, never bring your pets to class. I've told you all 1,000 times. Here is a case in point of what happens when you forget to close one of the shades. I want you to fall asleep now. You're getting sleepy. You're getting sleepy. And it is a very challenging journey. And the reason that it is because we are very, very complicated creatures. And our thought process is so convoluted and so chock full of stimuli that's coming at us from every direction all the time. And I've got it easy. I only have 2 dogs and a cat. A lot of you have children. Oh my God, I can't even imagine how you get through day to day. I can't even wrap my head around it. I'm so glad I did not feel the need to breed. I know I couldn't have handled it. I would have kept a child at home under lock and key for the first 35 years to spare them the trials and trepidations of life. And we can't do that because we can't. So since I wouldn't know how to do anything else, it was best that I'm a really good auntie. I fill that role well. And I know a lot of you do too. We all have extended families, and that sucks up a lot of time and energy and attention as well. But if you want to begin to understand who you are, where you fit, what's your mission while you're here on this planet, in this life, then you must spend time alone with yourself. It is nourishing and nurturing and healing and enlightening and allow yourself the time to pay attention to your own needs. If that means sitting in a hot bath for 30 minutes, closing the door, not letting anybody in to disrupt that tranquility, do that. Do it as often as you can. There's something very cleansing, aside from the obvious, about warm water. Very healing. Epsom salts that smell like lavender, I highly recommend. Candles, turn the lights down, just candles, and try not to slip into a coma and drown, because your body will relax to the point where you could literally fall asleep sitting up. We don't do that for ourselves often enough. We don't. I have spent my entire life putting other people first, putting everyone else first, particularly my family, my sisters, my parents. And when I faced an ordeal that I never expected to face, I found that my reserves were down. I had been here already for a couple of years helping my sister Christine care for our mother. As her diminishment progressed, we had to start dealing with the grief. We knew what was coming. There was no going back. It was the most difficult time of my life. It makes a cancer diagnosis seem like a walk in the park in comparison. It drained me. It exhausted me. It left me vulnerable. It attacked my immune system. And I went through a period of time where I became more and more exhausted and more depressed. And when my mother passed, when our mother passed, I really didn't care if I went with her or not. I didn't care if I stayed here. And it took a diagnosis, a death sentence, to make me wake up to how much I value my life and my presence on this planet, and that I serve a purpose, that I do as much good as I can possibly do, that I am as kind as I can be to everyone all the time, because it's the only way to be. Lead with kindness. I'll never, ever judge you if you punch a Nazi in the throat. But other than that, lead with kindness all the time. And sometimes I would forget to lead with kindness for myself on my inward journey. I wouldn't judge others nearly the way I judge myself, and feel like a failure because I haven't accomplished what I would have accomplished if I were healthy, and if I were free to travel, and if I could attend events, and if I could go do book signings, and if I could. Well, I'm not going to be free to do any of those things unless I focus on myself right here, right now. And when you live your life at such a frenetic pace that you forget that if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be available to take care of others. And this is particularly true of women. Although I know some men that are just like me, always giving of themselves and forgetting that they exist until there's a crisis. And what I'm trying to tell you is that, first of all, by sitting peacefully with your own soul in your own inner sanctum can actually prevent you from having to go through what I'm going through right now, or worse. It can, because it's a healing process. And each and every one of us has some element of our inner core that requires some attention and some healing. If you've lived to be, roughly in my age group, you've had trauma, you've had loss, you've had incredible pain, you've been betrayed, you've been humiliated, you've been treated shabbily by someone, somewhere, somehow, that hurt you so deeply that you buried it. You have felt loathing and contempt. You have felt every human emotion. You have felt fear, trembling fear. If you get to be our age, you've been through pretty much all of it. Don't let it eat you alive. Oh, Bill, how are you, darling?
Good. I gotta chime in because you're talking about a lot of great things right now. But my philosophy is, I don't give a you know what to the
Fuck is the word. I don't give a fuck. That's the word.
what other people think
Yeah.
that do not know me on a personal level. Yeah,
Yeah.
because everybody can reach their opinions, but if you have that self-confidence and self-esteem and are sure of yourself and have, like, if you're a leader and not a follower, there's so many attributes, positive attributes. You don't care about that outside noise.
No, and it is a lot of it. Most of it is just noise. It's static.
Absolutely. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I want you to finish the
I will
thought.
rant. Oh, I will rant because
No, rant. No, please rant because I'm thirsty.
Because the worst thing is insecurities and anxieties and stress, all the negative attributes in life. You've got to find a way to control that and focus more on the positive aspects of life. And like Brady brought up something, Jonathan and Brady are just too much in the chat, by the way.
Oh God, I love the. Oh my
They're
God.
still going back and forth and taking me right behind the scenes. And there's some great people in there. There are great individuals and their comments that are going on, and you see it after the show.
Yeah.
But like Brady mentioned about when he cuts grass, he enjoys the nature and the beauty. Well, guess what? There are ways to find means to reduce your stress. Find something that helps you be at peace, to meditate, to connect with whatever spirituality and whatever setting it is. Like for me, you know this. I do 30 miles of bike riding when I can every day, if I can.
Yeah.
I go out into the woods on a trail. It's a beautiful trail. It goes 750 miles throughout the state of New York. And I just put my earbuds on with my music, and it's like more like meditative music.
Yeah.
It could be metal too at times.
There are moments. Yeah.
There are moments.
Blood going, get your adrenaline up. Sure.
But just to be out there in nature and in that peace and not to be surrounded by too many people. It's just you and your surroundings, and to stop and like I'll stop at some caves, like I'll stop at different sites just to enjoy the beauty and take time to take the earbuds out and just absorb everything around me.
Yes, because you know what? The sound of nature is music. The sounds of nature are a form of music. They call it bird song for a reason.
But the respect of everything around us too.
Yes.
Mother Earth, everything. I think sometimes we take that for granted.
Yeah.
On a planet that has given us so much, we are like a rare thing in the universe. There's other possibilities of exoplanets. That's a whole different subject. But the point is, we're in a special place, and we're surrounded by beautiful things, and you have to cherish that. Now, as far as going through health issues and everything, I think you're the perfect role model for that. How you battle and we've had conversations privately, but like I've gone through stuff. I'm not gonna lay down and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna battle. I'm not gonna let that take.
Well, that's the choice, Bill. We have two choices. We can either lay down and take it, or we can stand up and fight. And how many different things in life does that phrase apply to? I mean, extrapolate it out. Lay down and take it, or stand up and fight. I am not a lay down and take it kind of person.
Yep.
I will not. If I see an injustice, if I see something that is cruel, if I see something that is unacceptable to me and offends the moral fiber that is the sinew and the threads of the tapestry that make me Andrea, I will raise hell. You know, I tell people all the time, oh, I am all sweetness and light until I am not. Don't cross me. Do not cross me. You know what the boundaries are. You know what the lines are. Don't get in my face and lie to me. I have zero tolerance, zero, for willful ignorance. And I will call it out every single time I see it. And that is who I am. And, you know, what I've had to do, because I cannot change who I am essentially. And I know that in recent years, I swallowed back a lot of anger, rage, toxicity. And I know that that contributed to what I'm dealing with now. I know that. I don't even have to have a doctor tell me that. I know it like I know my own name. But I also found that I was absolutely incapable of relinquishing that that sinew, that emotional turmoil that I have been in, the rage that I have faced when I see inequity, when I see inequality, when I see people hurt for no reason. I lose my shit. I can't help it. That's never going to change about me. I mean, and so what I had to learn to do, and we've talked about this personally as well, I had to learn to redirect the rage. I had to learn to use it as a propulsion system, as jet fuel. And I am at an age where I don't care how people react to it. I tell people all the time, you got an issue with me? Change the fucking channel. There's a billion things on YouTube. Sayonara, shithead. You know, I mean, that's how I feel. If you don't like it, get gone.
Look what Liz,
right.
I saw that. I was starting to laugh. I had to show you. But that is so true. But here's the thing. The root of all that, too, is we have to have respect for each other. Regardless of what your opinions are, whatever, it comes down to respect, because it doesn't matter. And I'm not going to get into it, but either side is angry. You know, there's anger everywhere. We have to find a way to reduce the anger, simmer down, chill out. You know, we have so much more in common than not. We do. And it's incredible how we allow things to spin out of control. And people start, that anger is not just anger. It turns into a more extreme feeling of emotion like hate, which that's a scary trend when you start, and you know, it's happening between family members and friends. And
this has been going on for 10 years. This is old news.
I'm like,
this is
I don't want to be around that drama.
Years of this, a decade.
But I don't want that drama. I don't want that drama. That's, to me, that's wasted energy for me to put to that. I am not going to waste my precious time. And, you know, because I'm a very busy person, I don't have time for that drama to get in the middle of that. I just want peace and harmony and love and all the positive things in life, that positive energy that if you emit it, it is drawn to you. The negative stays away. You know what I mean? And another thing is, and you know this, I guarantee you know this from your own personal experience, the power of the mind is so strong. You can self-heal.
Yes.
people don't, I guess maybe some people underestimate the power of your
Yeah.
mind.
Well, they would like to think that that statement is true, but because they have not experienced it themselves, that they don't give it the weight that it deserves. But what they fail to realize is that they have probably, hi Nancy, turn the anger into love. Can or leave it be. Yeah, I'm working on that. Yeah. uh, I have my own challenges with that.
Mm.
I don't respect willful ignorance. I don't. I don't. I can't embrace it and say, oh, it's okay. No, it's not. No, not in a world where we live in a world of global communication. Figure out what's true and false and don't mix them up anymore. No, I mean, I just, that's where I am, Bill. That's where I am. And it doesn't mean that I don't love everybody, because I do. It's just some people I have to love at a safe distance, or I'm going to have to rip their head off and spit down their neck, and that requires a great deal of strength and energy, which, I'm working on, like, building back up right now. And no, I can't. It's not okay. It's just not okay. It's not. And not for me. And so I can separate myself from it. I mean, my sister Christine and I mean, we might as well be twins in terms of that element of our personalities. We're both adamant. We're both well-studied students of history. And what I see happening in the world scares the living shit out of me. And I feel like if we do not find a path to peace, if we do not find a path to hope, and if we do not do it in the most loving way that we can, we will fail on our mission. But I was going to say something earlier that...
I apologize if I threw you off.
No, just stay, because this is something that I'm sure you have an opinion about as well. Most everybody that knows me knows that I got thrown out of the Catholic Church when I was 15 years old for asking too many questions. And the Bishop, Gelano, wrote to my parents and asked that I be removed from CCD classes because I was disruptive.
Yeah.
Color me surprised. But I loved Pope Francis. I didn't agree with him about everything, but I knew his heart was in the right place, and I knew he was reforming the church that desperately needed it. And then I mourned his loss, and then comes Pope Leo. And I love him. I have read everything that I can find out about this man. I think he is an antidote. I think he is an antitoxin. I think that he has the presence and the power, used wisely, to help heal this world. And I have had to ask myself, what the hell has happened to you? When I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, wake up spontaneously, and there is his inaugural mass, and I sit there and listen to every word he says in every language he speaks. And the message is the same all over the world. Love your sisters and brothers. Reach out and lift up the poorest among you, those who need help. Everything that he is what Francis was. And then when I heard that Francis had a dog, Tiberius, beautiful, beautiful dog. And when they buried him in his tomb, Tiberius went and stayed And of course, they had 2 guards, and Tiberius's handlers stayed with him. And they stayed all night long. And the dog would not eat, and the dog would not sleep, and the dog would not drink water. And the next morning, Pope Leo said, "Bring Tiberius to me." And he adopted him.
Wow.
And now Tiberius lives with Leo.
Wow.
And I was like, yep, that's it. I'm a goner. What is happening to me? What is happening to me? I'm talking to Mother Mary all the time. I had the whole Mary statue thing that happened, and I'm fire through my whole body that night. I will never forget, Bill, I will never forget, August 19th, 2024. And I had her statue in my hand, and fire ran down my arm and across my throat and across my core and out my other arm. And I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a massive heart attack or a stroke, and it didn't hurt at all. I should have been screaming and writhing in pain between the pressure and the heat that passed through my body. And that was the beginning of my healing, my divine healing. I was touched. I was touched.
See, well, okay, so I'm just going to, because when you just mentioned all that, I'm thinking about the one thing I think that we're lacking right now in society as a whole is compassion.
Compassion, empathy, and faith, not only in a higher power, but in ourselves, in our ability, like for instance, I find the strength every week to go to whatever political protest is nearby. And then I post the pictures, and that's how I clean.
And they're all over Facebook.
I know. I know. And that's how I clean house. Well, Lenny does. She toys with the those that try to aggravate me.
We'll hear more from Lenny in the next hour.
Don't even, because she's like a predator feral cat on catnip.
Oh my God.
And she'll read a comment that rubs her the wrong way. And they're only occasional, because like most of my people that follow me, I have 25 or 30,000 people just on one of 5 pages. Most of them, either the riffraff is gone already, or they might not agree with me, but they love me and they respect me. And so they keep their mouths shut and keep their fingers, off the keypad. But occasionally someone is foolish enough to try to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I don't even have to respond. I just let her take it. I'm like, Lenny, go check the post. Yeah, I know it's never our peeps. I don't even know. I guess they show up because I get so many shares that it gets out and about. I hope it makes a difference. Frankly, I don't care. It helps those among us that are like-minded, like believe in things like democracy and think that maybe the Constitution is way more than a goddamn suggestion. That like rule of law actually applies in this country. I would like to see the United States of America have a legitimate 250th anniversary. So I do my part. And then I come home and I nap. I go out. I have lunch with my sister. I come home. But the thing is that is a part of who I am. I have been a human rights advocate, an animal rights advocate, a gay rights activist, a civil rights activist my whole life. There has never, in the time I have been alive on this planet, there has never been a march on Washington that I was not a part of. I go to Washington so frequently, I should have like a standing reservation at a nice hotel. Yeah. It's because I have to, because I take it as my personal responsibility, because I studied the Holocaust, because I am aware that in 1938, a tyrant came to power and within 59 days turned the Republic of Germany into a fascist Nazi regime. In 59 days, by undoing the court system, by undoing the rule of law, by squelching any other voice.
But people don't know, like, I don't want to get into this whole part, but people don't know what happened after World War One and what happened during World War One, where Germany lost.
Treaty of Versailles. Treaty of Versailles.
And people were so down, and here comes this person with this voice to rise up the people.
Yeah. Populism.
Exactly what they were looking for after
right.
the defeat.
And to be able to abdicate and relinquish their own responsibilities to somebody that's a strong man.
But
but the strong man is weak, and the emperor has no clothes. He's stark naked. I think of him as sitting in the middle of the Oval Office as a baby in a diaper on the rug, playing with a $400 million plane. You know, are you kidding me? The corruption that is going on in okay, all right. So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop this now. No, I'm going to stop it because otherwise I'm going to go into meltdown and my head's going to explode and there's nobody available to clean up the mess.
Mom, I'm on the show with Annie. Sorry, Momzilla. We got to wait for that right now.
Okay.
All right. So what I wanted to say to you is this. For those who can't do like what you do, because you're able to do this, as you can see, I have an issue while we're live on the air. I'm with you. Mom is doing stuff in the background. Anyway.
It's okay. I love Elizabeth.
It's important for people to just be involved however they can within their communities.
Yeah.
If they can. And also, like me, I help my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I look after them.
And our neighbors help us.
Exactly.
It is mutual. And you know what? I mean, we're very lucky that we are surrounded for the most part with like-minded people. You know, our neighbors to the right are from Puerto Rico. Our neighbor across the street, they're very enlightened people. Our neighbors over here, also elderly, but very enlightened people. The guy that lives in the house to the left of us has a Confederate flag hanging off the side of his house on one side and an American flag on the other. And unfortunately, I left my flamethrower in Florida. So, you know, I mean, my lighter is just not going to do the trick, and, you know, trespassing and all that stuff. It's kind of like, remember when I had Greg Lawson on and I said, you know, these people driving in front of the house are pissing me off and, you know, like really pissing me off. And can I put down some spikes? And he's like, no, honey, that's illegal.
Yeah, 5 minutes. I also remember the yard sale.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That flag is flying in Michigan. That pride flag is flying in Michigan, and that stupid asshole had no idea when he hung that flag in a tree why no one was stopping at his yard sale. I got the flag for $3. Wow. And as soon as I bought it, suddenly people were stopping. You know, it's like, oh my God. Okay, but you know what? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is, you know, 5 miles up the road here. Thankfully, not in our district, thankfully. But
I'll say this quickly because we only got like 4 minutes. I'll say this quickly and then you can finish off. Anyone that has positive energy is welcomed in my home and through these doors.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, if like I have a lot of people over here, Pine Bushes next weekend, the UFO fair.
Yeah.
There are people coming from all over the country to stay at my house.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my doors are open to people that are positive. Simple, you know, and I don't care, you know, and, you know, maybe I always say, like, if you're going to get heavily, we have discussions here, but they're kept respectful. And I agree to disagree but nobody gets off the rails. you know, even if there's a different opinion, because they know in my house, I'm not tolerating that shit. I'm not tolerating it. If you want to do it, take it outside. The worst thing is at the dinner table. When I'm eating, I won't eat. Don't bring that up while I'm eating because I don't want to hear it. I want to enjoy my meal.
Yeah. I'm tired of seeing families torn apart, relationships. I know of at least 4 people that are divorced because of this. Divorced. Like, I don't love you anymore. Divorced. I'm taking the kids. Divorced.
It's extreme.
You know, I mean, it is bad. And, you know, I've used a word that I never thought I would. I never thought that I would say Antichrist and apply it to a living soul on this planet at this time. But here I am. Here I am. And my faith is what's getting me through. My faith is what's healing me. And I am so grateful for Pope Leo the 14th, because I think that he is a transitional, iconic figure and that he can show humanity the way. And so, you know, go within. Go ask yourself the important questions. Go spend time with yourself and find that light at the core of yourself when times seem darkest, when fear is at this extraordinary level. Find peace within yourself, because it is within yourself. Happiness is an inside job, and exude as much positive energy as you can into the world, because thoughts are things. And when we come together like we do here in Soul School, we're changing the world. Just doing this little show on Friday nights with all these wonderful people piping in and like, oh my God, you know. And I'm not asking everybody to agree with every single word I say, but give me some credit for intelligence, because I know what I am talking about. And listen to the teacher. Let me be your teacher for this little tiny bit of time, and consider the source and consider the information and know that everything that I tell you is truth. And with that, I will say to everyone, and thank you for stepping in for Jeff tonight. I'm sure he appreciates it. I will repeat, as I always do, class, be the light you seek. Be the light you seek. Be the beacon of hope on the hill. Be the change you wish to see in the world. And come see me in a few minutes in A World Awakening. And I love you all, and class dismissed.